Hello everybody, I'm Elwirfy and today I wanted to talk about, well, Killing Floor 3. I just found out that it even exists. I didn't know that there was going to be another Killing Floor game coming out. I thought that was kind of a dead concept, but I've seen some videos talking about the state of the gameplay, some reviews, and overall it seems like it's a mixed bag. Obviously, all we have access to is a beta, but given the fact that, as you guys know, I don't generally play a lot of like AAA games on release. That's not really how I do things here because usually most games are broken. So I never ever buy anything new usually. Um, but I saw the trailers for Killing Floor 3, and I think I realized the biggest problem I think with Killing Floor 3 and why people don't seem to like it. And I think that can actually be summed up in the trailers, which is what we're going to take a look at, because I feel like the emphasis on what Killing Floor is about is kind of being lost. So in Killing Floor 1, it was a pretty rudimentary, simple game. You go in, you shoot zombies every round, and there's different kinds of zombies, and there weren't a lot of starting weapons. You know, it was very low tech at the time, but the focus was on the gore and the blood and being in like kind of like intense close quarter situations. Movement was a really important feature of the game. You definitely felt like you were on the ropes. Then Killing Floor 2 expanded this concept. The maps got a little more open, but we got better dismemberment, more blood effects. But I feel like Killing Floor 3 has taken a step back away from kind of some fundamental concepts. And we're going to go through the trailers right now. So we're going to start with the Killing Floor 3 trailer, and then we're going to work backwards in time. So let's just go through this, and we're going to go a bit slow. Um, There'll be a lot of pausing, no music, no sound. You're not hearing it wrong. So immediately we can see that we still have the crawly guys, the crawlers. So that's good. You'll notice that they're not black anymore. They've been changed to the skin color, which is fine. Although I will point out that we've consistently seen them be skinned as black previously. So I don't know why there's that change. Just like I'm not a lore expert on Killing Floor, but from what I know about it, they've usually kept consistent coloration designs throughout. So if this is supposed to be an evolution, I'm hoping we'll get some sort of story explanation for that. Again, there's not a lot of story in the game. It's not really about lore, but for what it's worth, I feel like having consistent modeling, I think, is important, at least to me. Maybe I'm biased, but I feel like that's important. All right. So yeah, so you can see how it's very different. Um, I mean, good details. I mean, like that fur and stuff, or like where the human was. Like it's an interesting design. Like I'm not against it, like I said, but again, it's just the fact that their skin color. It's kind of I don't know. I feel like imagine if this was all black, like Venom, right? Like wouldn't that be cool? Like I don't know. Maybe that's me, but so we have the Oh my God, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name because I wanted to say Pyro for a second, but that's not who he is. But we got the guy who shoots the fire. He looks fine, I think, in my opinion. He's a pretty similar looking design. You can see in the background we've got the Gorfasts. They're still blind. Well, actually, weird. They took away the eyes. You know, they didn't. They had eyes originally. I wonder why they made them not have eyes anymore. That's an interesting design choice as well. Um, Again, not really focusing on gameplay. Like these guys, these might be a new enemy because these have eyes. So perhaps we are getting some new enemies, which is cool. I have no problem with getting new enemies. And then there's these ones. So like there's a variety. So some of them don't have eyes and some do. So perhaps they're just different skins of Gorefasts. So that's nothing too crazy. You can see this guy has the number K 5-2. So again, maybe there's like, and again, lore is very limited in the Killing Floor universe, but I think it's interesting that they're trying to incorporate some features on the actual designs of the enemies. But as you can see, we're showing off kind of. This is how you probably load into the game, the dropship coming in and stuff. And again, you can go watch the beta videos. There's beta videos. I'm just going based off what we get from the trailers because we're being honest here. Like, look, the trailer has 400. For me, the trailers are what the main audience is going to be seeing about your game from your official stuff. And this is for PlayStation, obviously. So this isn't coming from Tripwire directly, but obviously Tripwire gave permission to PlayStation to put this out, of course. And so we got Mr. Foster. He's got a new. That was really brief there, but he's got a different helmet now, which is fine. I did kind of like the traditional white gas mask. So again, just a lot of changes that are going on. Which don't impact gameplay. That's not what the concern is. I just think it's interesting that they're kind of moving away from the original design philosophy to try and stand out, which is noble and admirable. Okay, so I want to point out we're 16 seconds in. We're finally going to look at some of the weapons. We got a flamethrower, a assault rifle. That's all fine. Regular looking stuff. And then I'm not sure if this is a new enemy or not because he has a different hand. This might be the Scrake though, because he still has the Butcher kind of design there. And again, surrounded by a lot of Gorefasts, and we got a Crawlers on the wall, so that's good. So they're keeping most of the original enemies, which is nice to see. Um, you got the intro title; they're all coming at you, but this is the part where I think it's the most interesting. So, okay, so I want to do a little count of what they're valuing to show off to us. So we have, I think, pretty good gore effects here. The knife kill was interesting to see, but this is in real time. I don't know if you already saw it, but especially here, actually, this part I think demonstrates it better. And we'll run it back in a moment if you don't see what I'm seeing. So, let's go through it again, just so you can see. Didn't that feel really slow? I feel like combat got slower. And again, I'm going based off the trailers because I want to talk about just the trailers. We're talking about the actual gameplay videos of people in another video, but just for what the trailer is deciding to show off, it makes the gameplay feel much slower. Let's look at Killing Floor 2, right? And again, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. We'll skip over where they show off stuff, but to me, and maybe it's because of the cutting, but you can definitely feel, to me, the speed of some of it. Now, obviously not everything, there are slow moments, but like something like this where you're getting surrounded, it feels like there's more speed in the actual killing. And this one, they're just showing off a weapon. Again, we're not judging their speed on that. There's a lot of cutaways, but you can see how slowly the enemies are moving towards them. It feels like they don't care. And maybe that's for demo purposes, but they're just kind of sitting around. Yeah, it doesn't feel as fast. Like if you go further in the old trailers, because again, I'm just trying to compare trailers. See how I know it's subtle, but it feels like the enemies were directly coming at the player at this point, whereas in here they're just kind of standing around. Now that's good. I mean, and not all of it will be the same, right? They're showing different aspects, right? So we gotta be fair about that. Like this one, the enemies seem a little more agitated, but it feels like maybe it's because the animations are stiller. For example, like we saw, like there's this. Let's go back a little more. Like this guy, he's just like they're just doing like spawning animations seemingly, which I don't know why. Because normally like an enemy will spawn and they only kind of do an animation if they're gonna grab you or if they're gonna. I don't know. It just seems weird that they're doing that, and maybe it's because he was set on fire. Maybe there's like if that's an animation for that, like it's like a stun, which is okay. Because even like them coming up, it feels like they're very slow versus compared to this, like how they just instantly start running at you. Now, admittedly, they're running slowly, and the Killing Floors have always been a slower paced zombie game. So what I'm looking at is really subtle stuff, and you guys might not even see what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm in my head, but it feels like the zombies feel less aggressive in Killing Floor 3. This is showing off Z time now, so that's fine. I noticed I didn't see any Z time mentions in the trailer. And there's some cool gadgets and stuff. Also, weapon variety, I want to point out that we've seen this gun a couple times now. It seems that the trailer's not really wanting to show a lot of weapon variety. You'll notice here, in Killing Floor 2's trailer, we get a lot of weapon variety, and we can see a lot of different stuff, like here's the M16, we got a shotgun. Like every cutaway, like you get a new weapon being shown off, which I think is great. Whereas here, you're kind of getting the same stuff. Like this is the same weapon. They cut to two different things. This weapon was earlier in the trailer. I don't know. It just seems interesting that they're not wanting to show off the weapon variety that Killing Floor is really known for. And even if we go to Killing Floor 1, we'll skip over the cool differences. The Killing Floor 1 trailer is a bit older, but I want to skip to the actual like gameplay part where they're kind of showing off the weapons. They show off the stuff. So we got a shotgun, they're showing off a flamethrower, and this is older, so obviously everyone moves a lot slower, but even here, even with only 16 weapons starting out, they're really showing off every single weapon that they can, right? And in Killing Floor 2, we're seeing a lot of different weapons. We've got Samurai Sword, we have the Excalibur-looking one, some cool futuristic stuff. Even in like wide shots like this, they're really taking time. You can see the M14 style weapon that they have. I don't know, M304, I don't know. You have an MP5. They're just showing off a lot of different variety of things, which is really cool. You could tell it's kind of subtle, but, we got a shotgun. That guy's holding an LMG, I believe. And they're really showing off, emphasizing the gore and the destruction. Whereas here, I don't know, I feel like the trailer like yeah, okay, this is the part where they're introducing a new boss, but it feels like there's less emphasis on the individual like animations themselves, like the splatter effects. They look like they're not as destructive, and maybe that's just me, but like when you look at the Killing Floor 2 trailer, when you see the way that the enemies get uh, taken out, where is it? Yeah, right here. This is a perfect example, I think, of how the destruction is portrayed. And we can even slow this down a bit. In fact, yeah, let's slow this down to something like 0.75. Okay. No, actually, even that's a bit fast. Let's really just bring it down. Okay. So as you can see, we get a head explosion, and you notice there's the blood goes in two different directions based on the momentum where they were running. Um, And then as he hits the shoulder also explodes because Killing Floor 2 did this really great thing where they made sure to put emphasis on a lot of destructibility of the Zeds to make sure that there's, just a lot of gore able to be shown off. And even right here, we can see, I mean, the flash unfortunately makes it a bit hard to show, but you can see like different parts of heads are being taken off, for example, when there's shots. And I don't know if they'll even show it right here, but yeah, you can see the shoulder and the arms are getting dismembered. Dismemberment is really important. You can see that the head explodes. Whereas here, if we go back a bit, and again, this is maybe just what I'm seeing, but the shotgun air time shows a really clear example of this. Let's slow this down as well to our playback speed here. And again, I'm going based off of what the trailer is deciding to show. There might have been improvements since the trailer came out, but like this is your first impression. So we see the head come off. That's fine. And the heads to me seem like doesn't it seem like the bullets are having less impact in them? Not that there isn't destructibility, but like limbs aren't being removed, for example. Like you took out the head and that's fine, but see how the arm is actually still attached? It's not actually flying apart. Whereas here, when you see, I don't know if it'll show it, but in the actual game, there is dismemberment, which I think is really important to show off. Like right here, you can see that the arm, oh god, that's so hard to view. I hope you guys are seeing it. But the arm comes apart off of the Zed in the trailer. This is in the trailer, not that guy, this guy right here. You can, it's so hard to tell, but I'm sorry. But there is dismemberment. That's my point. Now, in the first game, even, the dismemberment was a bit simpler, but even when they show off the slow-mo, you can tell, it's hard to see. Again, these trailers can be hard to view, but see how right there, actually the shotgun's a good example. We'll use the shotgun as a moment. Actually, this is a good point. Because all Zed is just slowing it down. So we get a chest shot right here, which is fine. And then, oh, you know what? I know the problem is our playback speed is wrong. We need to get to 0.25. That way we can really show this off. Okay, so here you can see that the arm is gone. It got taken out entirely. It got exploded. And then, of course, we have, again, see how that guy's missing a hand? Do you guys see that? Because he got shot earlier from a background bullet. So it's just the little things. Like you can see brains fly up when you kill him. Like even this is an old game. This is from like 2009, I think it is. It's very old, but you can still see all the little bits of gore based on where you're hitting them, which I think is really important and part of what makes Killing Floor such a good example. And again, you can see here again plenty of dismemberment right here when the arm gets shot. Now it doesn't actually come off because the guy didn't fully saw it off with the gun, but you can just feel the impact, right? Whereas this, I mean, and I can understand he's using a shotgun, so it's going to do more area of effect damage, but see how the arm still stayed intact. I really felt like structurally the Zeds aren't as interesting, and despite the fact that, even with the grenade launcher, I mean, I understand that this might be a little more cinematic. I know it's a gameplay trailer, but I believe if they show the corpse, yeah, see how like he got exploded, but everything's still attached. You could still, I don't know. I just feel like there's less effort put in. Is that just me? It feels like it's doing a lot less for what we wanted. Anyway, that's kind of my main point. I just feel like Killing Floor 3, based on the trailers alone, it's taking a step back, I think, from what Killing Floor was about, which to me was about the gore, the dismemberment, the fighting. It's about killing zombies, and I feel like here that's less emphasized. Now, there's another video I want to go over, from a very small content creator, who will be the next video, which we're going to dive more into full gameplay of Killing Floor 3 and explain what I think about it. Again, we're going to do it kind of as a more reactive style, because I just want to give my own thoughts as someone who's played Killing Floor for a long time. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys saw what I was seeing when we did those slowdown moments. It was really important to me. But as always, I'm Elwirfy, and I'll definitely see you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already.